Okay, just stop for a second and imagine this. Think of the absolute ultimate stage, where pressure transforms into poetry, where nations either rise up forever or just kind of vanish into heartbreak, and where impossible history is made again and again. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're looking at the greatest FIFA World Cup records ever broken. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this today, because the sheer scale of these achievements is, well, it's mind-blowing. The World Cup isn't just a competition, it's a global phenomenon where legends are actually born and dynasties are built.
There's a famous saying that the World Cup is one tournament, one trophy, and a century of football history packed into just a few weeks. And we're really going to dive into this because we are about to explore the jaw-dropping records that made fans scream, analysts freeze, and history itself sit up and pay attention. We're talking about records so wild that even the most die-hard football fans sometimes have a hard time believing they're actually real.
Right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the quest for immortality, national dominance. So every single nation that steps onto that pitch dreams of building a multi-generational legacy before the first whistle even blows. When you think about the sheer concentration of greatness here, it's wild. Sitting right at the top of the mountain is Brazil with 5 World Cup titles, which is still the most in history. But right behind them, Germany and Italy are breathing down their necks with 4 each. Then you've got Argentina with 3 and France and Uruguay holding 2 apiece. And this isn't just a tally. It's a terrifyingly beautiful testament to consistency, surviving through decades of changing tactics, entirely different eras, and evolving playstyles to remain at the absolute top. That is incredibly difficult.
And that actually brings us to a really crucial point. When a team lifts that trophy, they do not just win a final. They carve their name into a wall of immortality. Greatness in this tournament isn't just some one-night story. It's a legacy that survives literally everything the changing world throws at the game.
Moving right along to number 2, unbelievable scorelines and chaos.
But titles are really just the beginning. Let's look at the matches that feel like they belong in a video game rather than a real-life stadium. 9, a brutal 9-goal margin. According to FIFA's own records, the biggest victory margin in a World Cup match is 9 goals, a gap that has actually happened more than once in the tournament's history. I mean, what a statement. In a setting where one team is usually holding on for dear life, the other is just rewriting the laws of football, proving that absolute demolitions can and absolutely do happen on the biggest stage imaginable.
And this is exactly what happens when tactics go completely out the window. Back in 1954, Austria beat Switzerland 7-5. That is officially the highest scoring match in World Cup history, 12 goals in a single game. It's just an absolute miracle of relentless offense, totally collapsing defenses, and momentum swinging like a pendulum on fire. It's exactly the kind of chaos that makes the World Cup so addictive, right? It rewards not just the best team, but the boldest and the fastest on that specific day. And this chaos translates perfectly into modern history too. 172. Qatar 2022 became the highest-scoring FIFA World Cup ever with a massive 172 total goals. That surpassed the previous record of 171, which was set in both 1998 and 2014. What this really tells us is that modern tournaments are absolute festivals of attack. Even the most careful defensive teams are being forced to push harder, risk more, and really chase the game.
Which leads us to part 3, a global cultural phenomenon. Now, let's zoom out from the pitch and look at the entire planet for a second. 5 billion global engagements across media during the 2022 tournament. 5 billion. And the final alone, it reached a total audience of 1.42 billion people. When people say football is a global game, this is the literal proof. It is the entire world looking in the exact same direction at the exact same time. It's not just a theory. It's a global heartbeat.
But let's contrast that macro, global audience with the micro reality of the actual stadium experience. 88,966 roaring fans packed into Lusail Stadium for the Qatar 2022 final. Just imagine the sheer volume of that crowd, the energy, the unbelievable tension in the air. Across the whole tournament, we saw cumulative spectators push to over 3.4 million, with an average overall attendance capacity of 96.3%. It was, quite literally, a living heartbeat. These attendance numbers created an atmosphere that somehow felt incredibly intimate because of the compact setup, but at the same time completely gigantic because the eyes of the planet were watching. For those few weeks, the stadium truly does become the center of the universe.
All right, on to Section 4, Legends of the Pitch.
Let's zoom back in from those roaring crowds to the individuals who actually make the magic happen. In 2022, we saw two of these modern gods collide. On one side, you had Lionel Messi, making his record-breaking 26th FIFA World Cup appearance in the final, completely reshaping the all-time charts. And on the other side, Kylian Mbappe, turning the final into this breathtaking individual performance by becoming only the second player ever to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final, finishing with 8 goals. They took a global tournament and turned it into a stage where they just flat-out earned real-time immortality.
Of course, these players join a truly elite pantheon. We're talking names like Miroslav Klose, the Brazilian Ronaldo, Gerd Muller, Harry Kane. But one achievement really does stand above the rest. Just Fontaine. He scored 13 goals in a single tournament back in 1958. 13 goals! That remains one of the most insane achievements in all of football. It's not just about finishing chances, it is absolute undeniable domination of an entire era.
And what's truly fascinating is how greatness completely defies age on the stage. We have Pele, the youngest goalscorer and winner at just 17 years old. I mean, imagine walking onto the biggest stage on earth before you can even vote and issuing a warning to the world that a new legend has arrived. And on the completely other extreme, Roger Milla, the oldest scorer at 42 years and 39 days. We also see modern veterans like Cristiano Ronaldo and Pepe just refusing to let time defeat them. Greatness doesn't belong to a specific age. It belongs to whoever is ready when destiny calls.
Which really brings us to the true definition of legacy. It's about expanding across multiple editions, different teammates, and entirely new eras. Look at Iron Men like Lothar Matthäus and his incredible 25 appearances. It is brutally difficult to return again and again to a tournament that absolutely does not forgive aging legs or fading form. Appearance records are their own kind of quiet miracle, proving a player's ability to survive and thrive across totally different football eras.
And finally, we hit part 5, the future of football.
So we've looked at the past and the present, but even with decades of deep history, the scale and the magic of this tournament just keeps expanding. The 2026 evolution will mark the 23rd edition of the tournament, but crucially, it's expanding to 48 competing teams spanning across 3 host countries. It's honestly awe-inspiring to think that the World Cup always finds a new, massive page to write fresh history on. The scale is completely unprecedented.
And as the tournament expands, the milestones just keep coming. Take milestone 1000, for example. Japan's historic 4-0 win over Tunisia in the group stage became the 1000th match in World Cup history, and the biggest win ever by an AFC team in the tournament. It's absolute proof that impossible headlines and brand new firsts are still being written right in front of our eyes.
Ultimately, there's one really crucial point to take away from all of this. Football always has one more miracle waiting somewhere. The tournament isn't just about the trophy itself. It is about the shattered records, the goal avalanches, the teenagers turning into global icons, and the real-time history that keeps pulling us back, no matter how many times we think we've seen it all. Which leaves me with a question for you. Which World Cup record shocked you the most? Was it the 12-goal match, just Fontaine's 13 goals, or maybe the fact that 5 billion people were watching? Let me know. Drop a comment with your favorite moment, and be sure to share this explainer with a football-obsessed friend. Keep learning, keep watching, and get ready because the next football miracle is for sure just around the corner.